Hey everyone, this is 012 Boku coming at you with another movie review, and I'm going to do the very last of the action. Well, not the last of the action series. Action's got a whole thing with itself. Action, adventure, and all this jazz. We have a long way to go yet, but we are on the last of a quadrilogy series of the first kind, and that is crap if I can. Aha! Yeah, there it is. You guys see it there? Lethal Weapon 4. Yep. Lethal Weapon 4 is the last guy here in the series for the Lethal Weapons. It was the last one made by Richard Donner. Sorry if you see me blowing my nose. Dealing with a lot of allergies today. I realized I should have took some medicine this morning. Didn't do it, and so I'm sort of paying the price. But hey, probably would edit that out. But if you see a lot of weird cuts in this one, you'll know why. Because hey, there's gonna be quite a few cuts and things to put into areas. So hooray! But either way, this is the last one in a series franchise that I thought was very successful. Lethal Weapon 4 is one of my favorites because I think it wraps up everything nicely. I was just checking out really quick, making sure I had the websites. There we go. The website's ready for the areas that I want to check out with you. Since I said after Lethal Weapon 3 I'd start doing it, since I'm going to the old format, and that's what we'll check out. And I don't know, Internet Movie Database, I have more for the cast trademark. I use them for the cast for their trademark. The Rotten Tomatoes trademark I use for the reviews and the consensuses. And believe me, I was just there for a moment, and Rotten Tomatoes already has me thinking, I know we have all our opinions, but holy crap, did the critics not like the fourth movie it looked like. I mean, it looks like half of them loved it, and fans loved it, 64%, but critics, only half of critics liked it. So I guess that's still a good consensus, but I will read you the critic tagline like I did for 3 that they had on there. And, oh man, it just, whew, yeah. I was a little ticked because nobody cares about continuity anymore, it seems, whether that was written in old times or new times. Because I'll admit, sequel movies, they go on way too long sometimes, but the continuity for some are done very, very well. Die Hard, so. You know, a lot of Sylvester Stallone's movies, continuity is very good. Arnold Schwarzenegger's again, so. Lethal Weapon is one of the good ones. So the fact that people have crapped on this movie here, I have to do that because I have a hard time placing my fingers at the camera. Because, I'm reversed from where you're seeing me. It's like, I get it, but I thought the continuity for all 4 of these movies was done well. If critics don't see that, well, hey, that's you, and apparently continuity could matter to a hell of beans for you all. But, I can't wait to get to that. But this film takes place, I keep thinking it was 1997, but Lethal Weapon 4 here, this is what happens when you don't own the individuals. Lethal Weapon 4 here takes place in 1998, thought it was 97, but it was 98, so quite a few years later from the third movie, which I think was 92, Lethal Weapon 3 was done, so it takes place years later, but the families have grown. Riggs and Martin Riggs and Lorna Campbell, have been dating. They're together, and we see how, as a little side note, both Murtaugh and Murtaugh's daughter, Tracy, or is it Rianne? Hold on, taking a quick look. What the hell is his name? Ah, yes, Rianne. Rianne is Murtaugh. I was gonna say Murtaugh's daughter, Tracy's daughter, but Murtaugh's daughter Rianne is having a baby, and Lorna is pregnant, about to have her and Riggs's first child. So that's sort of like a basis for this movie. But the movie, as you know, stars Mel Gibson, who continues on as Martin Riggs, who, he has his complete antics and, his weirdness to him still. He's still quirky. He's still like a beat 'em up, shoot first, ask questions later cop, which, I don't mind because sometimes you need that kind of cop, really. But, he still has his attitude. He's older, Mel Gibson no longer has the signature long hair, which sucks because I admit in any film where he kept his long hair on him, in my opinion, Mel Gibson looks good with longer hair always. But yeah, he's up to the spiked hair that he carries on for the remainder of his career nowadays. And he's older. I think they go with him being around in his, I'm gonna say around within his 40s, like early to mid 40s for this picture. And Murtaugh is he's probably within his late 50s, early 60s by the time this picture is going from what they're doing. Because I know by Lethal Weapon 1 he was 50 years old when that started. So do I really want to do math of the 1998 plus 50? Oh, God. I'm not going to. So I'm just going to guess it. If I'm wrong, if you guys want to do the math for, Roger Murtaugh's age, go right ahead. I wouldn't mind it. But, Riggs is trying to have his life in order. This film has him and his friends involved in trying to solve a Chinese case where Chinese immigrants have come abroad, because there's this part in the beginning of the movie where Riggs, Murtaugh, and Leo all get involved with this one boat coming across the ocean with one of Roger's boats, because they're out with Roger Murtaugh's boat and they're fishing together, and they see this giant skiff barge or ship come out of nowhere. They're trying to find out, what's it doing so far out here. It almost hit them. They're trying to just ask questions. All of a sudden, they start getting fired upon. And, there's an action scene right in the beginning that's cool with the boat and their boat and stuff. And they find out there were Chinese immigrants being brought over to America illegally, like they were being smuggled in. And Riggs gets embroiled into this, and this deals with a lot of the Chinese mafia. Okay, I hope that doesn't happen again. I sort of froze there. So hopefully this isn't screwing up my video, you guys. I don't know. But, getting involved with the Chinese mafia and the triads, I think it is, and it's leading to a whole different type of thing. As Riggs is taking this case, Riggs is trying to do the stuff that he was known for in the first three movies that we see him still try to do, and we see him, get a little slower, or he's having a hard time keeping up with certain criminals, and, he has to use Murtaugh saying, we're getting too old for this shit, because, Riggs used to say, we're not too old for this shit, and now, Murtaugh is trying to convince Riggs, we are getting too old for this shit, and, it's funny to see Riggs finally agree, and it's funny to see, and, there's, like, awesome stuff between him and the villains in this movie. There's awesome stuff, but there's an awesome fight scene with him with Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, who plays Roger Murtaugh, and Wassing Ku, who's played by Jet Li. Like, their fight scene is awesome at the end of the movie. And oh yeah, how could I forget? Like, the signature beginning of the movie that opens up with this film with the flamethrower guy in the body armor. I'll probably get to that now because that deals a lot with Murtaugh. So, that's the whole thing. And, there's a part near the end of the movie where Riggs is talking with his wife as he's about to because in this film, at the end of it, he actually gets married to Lorna, or wants to get married to Lorna, as they're about to have their child. And what happens is Leo comes out of nowhere. Leo gives, I guess, Martin Riggs his final vote of confidence for himself that he can finally move on with his life and, be this cop and family man and good person and have the life that he and his original wife, dreamed about, that they probably wanted to have but couldn't have, since we found out his wife was killed by the South Africans. So, that was a nice, touching scene. We also then have, let's see here, what is it again? Oh yeah, we have Danny Glover again, who plays Roger Murtaugh, who, once again, probably late 50s, early 60s, his daughter Tracy is about to have his first grandchild, and he's about to be a grandfather, and he's very excited about that. He doesn't know who Rianne is dating yet, but he does find out that Rianne is dating somebody, he doesn't know this, but it's somebody on the police force, and he doesn't want Rianne to have that dangerous life. He wants Rianne to be safe and all that. And as we as we see, there's a part where in the beginning where, like I said, there's this flamethrower guy in body armor who's like blowing up who's like blowing up cops, blowing up things in cars, and trying to attack almost a gas station just on purpose. Nothing's blown up at the gas station yet. And what happens is you have Riggs and Murtaugh out there with a bunch of other cops trying to get at this guy, and Murtaugh lets slip that, Lorna is that Lorna, I don't know, I think she lets slip that Lorna was about to have a baby. I don't know if Riggs knew yet or if what happened, but Lorna was about to have a baby, which Riggs didn't know. And then, Riggs lets loose that Murtaugh's about to have a baby. And, oh yeah, this is when they first got pregnant, because I forgot the movie at the other part with the boat and the Chinese immigrants. That takes place, I think, 9 months later, from what they said. And so, yeah, this is when they first found out that both of them were pregnant. And, they're both like, this isn't the greatest time, but hey, congratulations, we're going to be this, and, we have to get rid of this guy. So what happens is you have Riggs devises plan where he says, I want you to go out there and distract this guy, make him so confused that he doesn't know what to do, and then I'll try to take him out. And Murtaugh's like, okay, Riggs, well, how do I do that? And he's like, you gotta get undressed and flap your arms around like that, like a chicken. And, Murtaugh at first doesn't want to do it. He's reluctant. And then, like, he decides, okay, I'll do this if there's no other way. So he takes off all his clothes and he goes out there flapping like a chicken. The gunman sees him. He's about to hit him with the flamethrower. He also had he had some sort of a short automatic rifle. I don't know, or minigun. I think he had a short minigun. I don't know what it's called. I have a friend who's better with guns and whatnot, but yeah, he had a short, minigun, and he was about to shoot Riggs, and then all of a sudden, or Murtaugh, was doing that stupid dance, and then all of a sudden, Riggs gets up, shoots the gas tank on the back of the guy. The guy goes into the gas station explodes, and Murtaugh's like, hey, Riggs, I did what you said, did it help? And, Riggs is like, telling Murtaugh, no, it didn't help at all, I just wanted to see if he could do it, and, he did it as a joke and tricked Murtaugh again, which Murtaugh's upset, and that actually becomes a running joke throughout the film. with the part with the Chinese immigrants, they thought after they defeated everybody on the boat that the Chinese immigrants were, all taken away into protective custody. They were going to find out what these people were doing here, and it sounded like they were all going to send them back to China. All of a sudden, Murtaugh, is going to get his boat, and all of a sudden he hears a sound in his boat, and there's a Chinese family in his boat. And what he does is he takes one quick look back at the boat, and then we have like a scene or two later where we find out Murtaugh actually took this this Chinese family in. The father's name for the Chinese family was Hong, and like he took Hong's family in to where, Riggs sees this at some point and says, "Do you realize what you've done? You've done an illegal thing. You shouldn't have done this." And, Murtaugh's like, "Well, I'm a family man. I know what the Hongs are going through. What else could I have done?" So there was that whole thing with each other. And as stuff starts getting deeper, is that the fact that we see where the Hongs actually get kidnapped from Murtaugh's house. So Murtaugh's house, again, is under siege by the villains. They all get attacked, and, they all get captured for a bit, and they let the house burn down while these Chinese mafia triads get away with the Hong family and everything else that they've had and what they've done. What's sad is Hong actually gets killed before the end of the movie. Murtaugh feels bad. We learned the rest of the Hong family was fine, but when he found out that the father was killed in the way he was, he takes it as a personal vengeance to go out and get these triads to get vengeance for Hong and to do what he knew in his mind is right. So that was a nice scene. We also, once again, at the end of the movie with Murtaugh, is we learn how much Riggs and the others mean to him. Like, he learns that this is a, huge family affair, and everybody, is one and the same with each other. I mean, even if they're not the same, they have a kinship and they're connected. And it was really nice of Murtaugh to realize that with everybody. And he actually shows compassion for the cop who his daughter Rihanna is marrying, for he gets injured near the end of the movie, helping Riggs and Murtaugh fight these triads. There's also, I was looking at the wrong one almost. There's also Joe Pesci again, who plays Leo Getz, who we see that Joe Pesci, given the time in his years, actually became a private detective. And whenever he has a chance to show his badge, you have Riggs and Murtaugh sort of kicking him out of the way. They're sort of just like pushing him around, making fun of him. The one cop who's marrying Rianne is bugging Leo, and they have all this stuff back and forth with him, so they tease him. Leo actually again gets involved, helping him with the case, because when there's this one character, I wonder if I can get his name again. Hold on here. Oh yeah, Uncle Benny, played by Kim Chan. Uncle Benny is at the dentist's office, and they need to find out information for him. So what happens is you have Leo pretending to be like he's got like a huge toothache, and they take him into the dentist, and I think they drilled something into his tooth because it looked like he was on Novocaine, and they drilled something into his mouth from the sounds of it, and like he's in pain, and while Riggs, Murtaugh, and the cop who's marrying Rianne are all getting high off the gas, and it's a very funny scene with Leo and all of them doing it with Uncle Benny, and it's like, my baby's having your baby, well, my baby's having your baby, oh baby, because they're not high off the gas laughing about it, even though they're truly upset with the whole situation and everything. And so Leo's there to help out and again provide comedy relief. And what we learn is that towards the end of the film, after Riggs, Murtaugh, and the others are done dealing with the triads and defeating them, once again, Riggs is talking to his dead wife, saying, I know things are weird and, I'm still confused. I have all these great things, but I'm still lost. Should I really go with this? If you can give me a sign, if you and God can give me a sign, I'll know things are going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, Leo comes out, I think, behind a tree because he was sort of watching and spying on Riggs. And Riggs says, what are you doing back there? How'd you get here? And Leo actually just tells a funny joke saying, Riggs, I'm a private detective. It's what I do. I can tail people now. And, like, I don't know if it was true or if he was shrugging it off, but Riggs, says, oh, okay, I knew it was you. So I wonder if he really knew, or I wonder if he was just joking around with Leo. I think he was joking around because I don't think he really knew that Leo was there. Otherwise, I think he would have told Leo to come out. I don't think he would have pulled the gun on him. But, Leo basically says how he only had one friend, and it was a frog, and, Riggs isn't taking this seriously. He thinks some. Oh, this better not be messing with my video. Sorry, guys. I froze again for whatever reason. Don't know why, but I did. So hopefully this isn't screwing up my video. If my stuff is getting screwed up, I greatly apologize. Don't know why this is doing this. I deleted all the old videos that could cause problems. If it's because of my photos, I'm trying to get a lot of photos deleted. I'm adding new ones, but I'm trying to get a lot of photos I know that have no significant or as big of a significance to me as they used to deleted. So there's that one. So sorry about that if it is doing it. If not, no worries. But anyway, Riggs doesn't want to take this story about the frog seriously. And Leo's like, hey, just listen to me. He tells him a story about how he had this frog that he named Froggy. So hilarious name, Froggy. But he had the story of Froggy, and he loses Froggy as a young kid. He took him everywhere with him, and because it was his one friend who really cared about him, because Leo really didn't have any other friends, because I guess they thought him weird or he was a troublemaker or whatnot. But I forgot if Froggy jumped out of the box and got ran over by his car, or if he jumped out of the box and Leo ran over him accidentally with his bike and killed him. But all I know is that all I remember truly is that Froggy gets run over and killed, and Leo was like, that's the only friend I had for years, and I just got a lot of trouble, I had a lot of problems, and then all these years ago, I met you and Roger, and you two showed me. Oh, sorry, recalling this again. I never realized how sad of a scene this was, so just recalling this is making me sad and visualizing the scene in my head. But he's like, I only had you and Roger, and you guys really showed me what it was like to have friends again, or to be loved, and, all these great things. And, Leo basically tells Riggs how much he appreciates both of them and what they've done for him over the years. And, it's a really nice, heartfelt, and touching scene. And when Leo says, okay, I'll back up, I'll wait for you again, I'll be in the car. And, I guess they find out that, Lorna gets pregnant, so as they're rushing to the hospital, you have Riggs pat his wife's tombstone, and he's like, honey, I don't know how you did it, but you did it again. You've shown me what I needed to see, so thank you, honey, and God. And, he takes off. There's also a funny part when they get to the hospital, sorry, Riggs and Murtaugh, Riggs and Leo, there we go, Riggs and Leo are getting to the hospital. And there's a part where, I guess Riggs and Lorna want to make some sort of a wedding vow to each other, so they want something. So Leo basically finds a rabbi, and the rabbi's doing a quick little thing to make them sort of unofficially married at the moment, and he's like, we need a cup to crush. So Leo runs and gets a man to the hospital. He was holding a urinal cup, takes the urinal cup from his hand, says, we need this, give the fucking cup to me. And like the guy's like, you do know how long it took me to fill that? That took me all damn day. It's so funny seeing this guy get pissed. And like, Riggs just dumps the pee out, and the rabbi crushes the cup, and that goes towards the end of the movie too, where they're all together and they take the final picture with each other, where Leo's getting a picture, in the shot. And, oh yeah, I forgot. They want Leo, because Leo was going to take the picture, but they want Leo to get in on it. And funnily enough, the captain, Steve Kanan, is in the picture, which is fair. Steve Kanan was involved in all 4 films too, so that was nice having Captain Ed Murphy in the shot too. But like, they want Leo to get in there, and you hear Riggs say, Leo's going to be the best man for our wedding, so we have to have the best man in the shot. So that was an awesome, cool thing too. So a lot of good bonding moments between Leo and the cast in this one that I really enjoyed. Let's see. Again, there is also, once again, Renee Russo, who again plays Lorna Campbell. And Lorna in this one has I'm going to basically say she has a significant smaller role, because, she's dealing with her pregnancy and bearing, Riggs's child, or Lorna Campbell. I'm glad I rechecked. Sorry, guys, I'm saying Lorna Campbell. I mean Lorna Cole. I should have definitely rechecked that when I had time, but yeah, Lorna Cole is who I mean, and Lorna Cole, Renee Russo's character doesn't do as much. She still holds weight to the movie like she did in the 3rd one, because she reveals the cop to Riggs, who's dating Rianne. Riggs is shocked to hear that it's somebody from their precinct on their force, so he's making a big deal of it. Lorna silences Riggs to secrecy, not to say anything to Murtaugh or anybody else, to keep it on the down low, because it was just between Lorna and is it Tracy Murtaugh? Let's see, Darlene. Oh no, it's Trish Murtaugh. Darlene Love is once again Trish Murtaugh, and they swore to secrecy between each other, and Riggs is just having to go with it throughout all the film. And people walking out there. Sorry, I'll probably edit that part too. But we have, Lorna dealing with all that. And then, like, Lorna's also helping out with the Hongs when the Hongs get brought to the Murtaugh home, and she's helping them out there. And her biggest point probably in the movie is when you have that Chinese triad come to their house after they stole the Hongs, and you have Riggs and Murtaugh doing their best to fight these guys off. You have Lorna, believe it or not, as pregnant as she is, using her martial arts to basically take all these people down. And at first what they were doing was they had a knife to Lorna's stomach, meaning that they would kill her and the baby both. And, but she uses her martial arts skill that she knew, just like Riggs, to take some of these guys out. And, it's all well and good. And then Wasin Ku gets involved and takes them all down. And once again, they're all captured and tied up and, left to burn in the house. But then one of Hong's grandsons, are still in the house because he evaded capture, and he untied the family and they got out of the house before it burned to the ground. The movie continues on to the end. We don't really see Lorna much after that, because I think Lorna's taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation, things like that. But we see Lorna about to give birth, and while she's there, and I mentioned the whole thing with the rabbi and the cup and them wanting to have an unofficial marriage, she was the one who wanted it. Before she had this baby, she wanted to be at least unofficially married before they had the child, because she wanted it to feel special for her and Riggs, and she demanded, I want to get married, I want to be married before I have this kid, she was like yelling at Riggs and everybody else. It was hilarious to see Rene Russo just being that way for this film. So she had a pretty good significant role in this one too. And there was also another newcomer added to the heroes in this one. Chris Rock is in this film, and believe it or not, he fits. And Chris Rock plays the character of Lee Butters, and Lee Butters is the cop I've been telling you guys about who has married Rianne, or is also dating Rihanna. I don't know if they were married or if they were dating or what not happened, but basically Lee Butters goes throughout this film trying to make sure, Murtaugh is okay. He's trying to give him stuff, make sure he's protected, warm, cold, trying to get him food, basically LOL, buttering up to Murtaugh. And Murtaugh doesn't get it. Murtaugh's thinking, do you think this Lee Butters is homosexual? Is he trying to come on to me? Is he, again, is he gay? It's really funny, these different scenarios they all come up with. And Riggs is basically having to go because he wants to tell Murtaugh so badly, but at the same time, he's enjoying this foray between everything. And again, when it gets revealed at the dentist office where they're having Uncle Benny on the gas, and it gets revealed then, Murtaugh is ticked off, and he's saying, I think he hits, Riggs in the jaw, and he's also telling Lee Butters, I want to talk to you later, we're going to have a long talk about this, and, it goes from there. There's also, several interactions between, Lee Butters and Leo Getz where they both act very similar to each other, because there's a part where I think they talk about it's cellular phones. They talk about cellular phones, and then they talk about drive-thrus, about how you always get fucked with those things. And it was such a hilarious scene to see those two gel, because it was great chemistry between those two, back and forth, and it's like they spent a good portion of the film, whenever they did see each other, hating each other. To see that they found common ground in that scene was hilarious. They fuck you in the drive-thru, they fuck you with the cell phones. Yeah. Hey, do we like each other? And it was a great scene, and Lee Butters joins Riggs and Murtaugh along with a few other cops at the Triad compound, where they're trying to get this money to, I guess, a Chinese detective or a Chinese prison warden who they were working with, and because they were gonna burn, I think, the Triad group themselves, or they were gonna try to, screw over the person who was helping them. But, it gets revealed, and, there's a huge shootout at the end of the film between everybody, and overall, Lee Butters is taking out guys along the way. Him and Murtaugh are helping out there. Lee Butters actually gets shot, I think, in the shoulder, and I think what's the cop's name? Because I think they also have the cop here. Oh yeah, Detective Ning. Detective Ning, played by Calvin Young. Calvin Young comes up, and what we see is how Detective Ning, is guarding Lee Butters in the film, and Murtaugh says, that's my future son-in-law. Protect him, make sure he lives, and be careful with him. And Detective Ning says, don't worry, I will, and continues on. And again, they're all there at the end of the film in that nice family moment, and flipping allergies, guys. Oh yeah. And then finally, the last villain for this film series is once again Wasing-Ku. Let me make sure I got that right. Let's see, where are you, Jet Li? Yeah, there we go. Wasing-Ku, played by Jet Li. he's actually working with the quote unquote triad and the the you know, Uncle Benny, because like he's posted as a guard, and there's actually points where like when a gentleman they were chasing around China in the beginning after. Oh wait, yeah, because it was two things. Like there was a guy in the beginning of the film who escaped from the boat who they couldn't get, and then all of a sudden they have they go to Uncle Benny's to wonder about this boat that was there, and you have like Riggs and Murtaugh like basically joking around with this guy. I think Butters is also there too. And, they're basically teasing this guy. And then you have Riggs walk right up to Watson Koo and say, does this guy understand what I'm saying? Do you speak English? I bet you don't speak a damn word of it. They do many things like tease everybody. Riggs shoots Uncle Benny's fish tank and the fish spill out all over. And when Riggs and Murtaugh and Butters leave the scene, you have Watson Koo speak perfect English going, if you were in I think he said if you were in China, you'd already be dead. Like saying, you never get away with saying this to me like that in China. And like there's like I said, there's a chase scene where they chase after I think the guy who got away on the boat, like Riggs is trying to, and again, that's when Riggs can't keep up with the guy where they lose him, and when the guy thinks he's safe, he's on a roof in Chinatown, going between some laundry, and then all of a sudden, Watson Koo comes out of nowhere, kicks the guy in the head, and they're like, battling really quickly in martial arts, and then Watson Koo uses his piano wire to basically go out and kill people, and he kills the guy with the piano wire, and leaves him for dead. And as the film goes on, we see how these triads are trying to get what they want, and Watson Koo is actually trying to not only break out these four fathers who are, I guess, four arrested triad members who got locked up in a Chinese prison, but they were being smuggled here to America to, I guess, start a new life with Watson Koo and also of their crime wave syndicate. And one of the four father members is Watson Koo's brother, who he was trying to get out of prison. And he tells these four guys, in America, you can make whatever money, you can do whatever you want, you can get away with so many things here. It really is truly the land of the free. And they're basically saying, because in 1998, people were already taking advantage of American liberties, and they were saying that's what they were going to do. So that was the main point of what Watson Koo was telling the forefathers, was that they could use American liberties and usurp them to have a lot of power here. And, all goes well. There's also the scene in the house where basically you have Watson Koo attack Murtaugh and Riggs and all their families at the house after they took the Hongs. Riggs actually calls Watson Koo, Pajama Boy. What's Pajama Boy doing up there? And, like making fun of the traditional Chinese garb because he's in traditional Chinese martial arts clothes. And, basically they fight with each other, and, Jet Li being a martial arts master, takes out Riggs and Murtaugh easily. Like, he even, detaches, Riggs' firing mechanism from his gun, which surprises the hell out of Riggs. And, they have their fight there. And all of a sudden, near the end of the film, you have, and also Watson Koo also killed Uncle Benny, who I guess either failed them or was their plan to kill Uncle Benny to get him out of the way because he was another loose end they needed to tie up. So after Watson Koo, Watson Koo basically kills Hong, because I guess they had Hong's brother to make this fake money so they could, trick the triads who were getting the forefathers out. So, he basically made this fake money for them, and, you have Uncle Benny, Hong's brother, and Hong himself, they're all killed by Watson Koo and these other members, and get to the end of the movie, to the docks, where they have a fight with Wasinku there, and there's an awesome fight with Wasinku and Riggs, and where Riggs almost can't keep up with him, but he's doing what he can to hurt Wasinku, and they both go, or no, Wasinku, like, Riggs takes a Rybar and stabs the Rybar right in the stomach of Wasinku, but Wasinku is still going, and they both go over into the water to where they're struggling in the water, and I think there was like an AK or something in the water from one of the other members who died, and Riggs takes it, basically shoots Wasinku up, and Wasinku basically just floats in the water like that as he's going down, as he's sinking to the ocean, because he was shot to death, and he would have died anyway, probably with that rebar inside him, but like, that's what happened to Wasinku. And overall, like, what I loved about Lethal Weapon 4 was the story was great. Like, great action as always. Like, the boat fight at the beginning was phenomenal. A lot of hijinks and antics with, Murtaugh's boat. Like, I think there's a gas can that explodes on Murtaugh's boat and basically crushes Murtaugh's boat, sadly. There's the Chinese restaurant chase, which was cool. The fight at the house was another quick romp. The shootout at the end with the triads and Wasinku's men and the cops at the docks was awesome, because there's a scene where when Riggs and Murtaugh are telling the triad members that you guys have been duped and, like, it's fake money, it's not real, it's like, and then both Riggs and Murtaugh are going, they fucked you, we fucked, they fucked you, we fucked you, all fucked you, it's beautiful! And then that's when the guns come out, and, like, we're just like, okay, oh, here we go. And, the one thing, too, that I never find out is Detective Ning's partner, I never know if he was killed or not in that final scene, because we never see him again, but we never see Detective Ning's partner get shot. And I actually liked the look of that guy. He seemed like a very chill dude, and I don't know if he was killed or whatnot either, but he was there with Detective Ning, because the other guys were there was Detective Ning, his partner, Riggs, Murtaugh, and Butters. They were all the cops that were there, and we never see Detective Ning's partner again during and or after that fight. It's like after it starts, he just disappears. So I don't know what happened to the poor guy. I hope he didn't get killed. But we don't know what happened. But yeah, the comedy in the film is well produced. The characterization is well done. Every actor's played their role very well. It's nice to see all the original faces. They had Steve Kanan as Captain Ed Murphy again. Mary Ellen Trainor was once again back as the psychiatrist, which was awesome. You had all the original family members of the family still there. You had everybody who was there that needed to be there, and it was it was really good and great stuff. I thought it was a very well done movie, and the continuity surrounding it was great. And I'll tell you that saying and speech with Leo to Riggs and having everybody be there at the end, after all these people are giving birth to each other and they're taking pictures as a family. It's a great way to end it. And they ended the credits with the credits crawl showing every person who worked on all four films and all these films, like how it really was a family effort. And Richard Donner even says that in the audio commentary, how this was a family effort putting all four of these films together. So the continuity and in this final film was excellent, which is why this final film is my favorite of the series, because it was a nice way to wrap up the story. And I think even Richard Donner went, you could make more. You could make more, but at some point you have to make an end. So, like, I think he said to where this was his last Lethal Weapon, but if anyone else wanted to do something, I think he said he'd leave it in their hands. But to him, Lethal Weapon 4, I think, was his finality to it, which I'm sort of glad they haven't made any more films. I've not seen the series. I know some people said the series was good, and others say that, wasn't as good as the films, but I guess it's left to interpretation. I've never seen either one, or I've not seen the series, so I would not know what to tell you, at least involving that. But hey, and now let's get to the best part of it. Let's see what we have here, because I will give you quotes from Rotten Tomatoes. And I forgot how cool that poster looked for Lethal Weapon 4. Basically, it gives the poster of all the main actors, and well, minus Jet Li, it gives everybody up to Chris Rock. But it has a big 4 painted on red with a black background and white letters saying "Next summer is lethal." And I mean, I just love it. I'd love to own that poster. And again, here's a quick critic consensus from Rotten Tomatoes, and I quote: Jet Li's arrival breathes fresh life into a tired franchise formula, but not enough to put Lethal Weapon 4 on equal footing with its predecessors, which, in my opinion, is false. That is false, because I thought all 4 of these movies were well done. I mean, I thought 3 was lacking with the villain or some of the story, but 4, I thought, brought it back from where 3 was taking it. And I thought 4 brought it back really well. And, I mean, I guess it's cool, but at the same time, I like how people say tired franchise formula, but yet nobody will mention, unless you're a fan critic, like some of the ones on YouTube, none of these professional critics, like the ones who work for the big time movie companies, not like Nostalgia Critic or Critical Drinker or CinemaSins or anything, where they're their own company and people. But if you work for any of these film companies or stuff like that, I love how they will ridicule the films of yesteryear, like this film, and give all the superhero films or all the other films that have tons of sequels, Disney, you name it. And like a lot of these reboots and remakes, they're the greatest. You kidding me? So it's tired formula to you, and it doesn't stand up with its predecessors. Okay, I disagree with that completely. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, if you guys want to let me know what you think, please, I would definitely love to know what you guys think about that, because I think that's a tad bit ridiculous. I really do. I really do. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see. A top critic did not quote at all on this film. Let's see. And that was from, oh geez, yeah, nobody, well, I mean, they're pretty recent, but they're still also pretty old. The latest quote to this was, Entertainment Weekly, wow. And you didn't even want to quote, you just said it was bad. And that was in 2011. Let's see here. And then everything's from like 2008 downward. Let's see here. Mindless, sadistic violence juxtaposed with, oh yeah, and I quote from these critics now. Mindless, sadistic violence juxtaposed with rote sentimentality. This is how Hollywood has finally solved family values conundrum, the question of how to entertain the blood and sex-starved masses and be morally proactive at the same... What the hell are you talking about? Okay, clearly you don't like... and this is from... That quote was from Time Magazine. And once again, another top critic here. I don't get what the hell they're talking about with that. That makes absolutely no friggin' sense. That just sounded stupid. Okay, you don't like violence, so why... Who told you to see this film? Why couldn't they get somebody else from Time Magazine who likes action films? Let's see. Okay, here's a positive one from a top critic from Leonard Quady from Variety. And, like, this was a certified fresh one. It matters little that the film is rife with non sequiturs, nonsense, and nihilistic violence because its heroes are so darn buoyant and sharp. Okay, again, you're complaining about the violence of a film, and yet you like the characters of the film, but you don't like what is the meat of the film. It's an action movie. If you were bothered, oh my god. Like, I love how they attack Richard Donner in these films on violence. And yet, this is why I'm glad I'm doing this, because I probably will always come back to these with every review to see if they had anything new. And if anything, I probably will go through even the old ones again in case people miss it and don't see these videos. But oh my god, that... I'm glad you like the characters, Mr. Leonard Clady, but from Variety. But holy crap, your quote of like it matters not that the film is violent, but I like the characters. Oh, or no, it matters little. Oh yeah, no, not that it matters not, but you said it matters little that the film is riddled with violence, but the characters are so charming. Oh my god, it's an action film, and you were doing this 10 years after the film was released. Oy, oy, oy. Alright, here's one from a Jeff Andrew, another positive one from Time Out, rated top critic as well, and I quote, "The climactic street fighting clash between Mel and coldly charismatic martial arts star Jet Li is a bone crunching classic." I I will agree to that. I won't say it is the best martial arts one. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it a classic, but if you want to say martial arts street fighting, I would definitely say yeah, because it was a brutal fight. I mean, there was no like honor or grace about it. It was brutal. So I will definitely give him that. Like bone crunching, yes. Classic though, I would maybe debate that because I know there's other street fights that have been just as good, whether they've been martial arts or not. And as far as actual martial arts movies, like if we would compare this to a Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan fight, way better. I mean, Mel Gibson and Jet Li did what they could, and it was good. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I think there's people who did way better than they can. Let's see here. Another positive one. I'll do two more. I'll do one more positive, and there's another negative here. And it looks like, it's funny, most of these are positive, except for what looks like the last three at the bottom, but I'll do one more positive and one more negative. This one's from Mick LaSalle, the San Francisco Chronicle, top critic again. And let's see. One could argue about which Lethal Weapon is the best, but number 4 is certainly the funniest, warmest, and most idiosyncratic. I would agree with that because yeah, I think it had some of the best comedy in all 4 films. It really had the best, warmest moments out of the other 3, and you know idiosyncratic. I would agree with that as well. I'd say that all fits the bill pretty well of what the film represents. So thank you, Nick LaSalle. And that was all the way in 2002. Jeez Louise. And another one from 2002 of the same thing. Liam Lacey, Globe and Mail top critic. I think this is the last of the. It's the last of the top critics. And let's see here. The relationship humor stuff in Lethal Weapon 4 is pretty much excruciating, mawkish, and inane. The second part of Lethal Weapon 044, the action sequences are much better. Okay, I think he says he likes the action sequences and things like that in this movie, but the relationship and humor stuff is excruciating. I know Joe Pesci and Chris Rock aren't for anybody, but it was done in a way to where they weren't over the top in this film. And, their humor, in my opinion, worked. And to say that none of the relationships worked, did you see any of the other three films? Holy crap. Wow, I don't agree with that either. Wow. And really quick, I'll just quote this really quick one from David Nusser, who gave it a certified fresh in his from Real Film Reviews. But he said, oh, okay, we got one from 2020. It's February 11th, 2020, and he reads the weakest in the series, but he yet certifies it fresh. David Nasser, I don't mean to disagree with your quote there. I don't mean to argue with your quote there, or not disagree, but I don't mean to argue with your quote there, but 3, in my opinion, is the weakest. 4 is, again, for me, it's 4, 2, 1, and 3. That's how I go from strongest to weakest. But that's what I do for that one. So, overall, guys, as I see it, seems a few people agreed with me what I think about this film. This film, and I will try to remember to do my ratings. I give this a 10 out of 10. I thought the fourth film wrapped up everything well. The characterization was well done. Great camera work. Well, again, great scores by Michael Kamen, Eric Clapton, and David is it Sarabon? Sanborn. David Sanborn. So, great stuff, great things that are there, and, overall, I enjoy this film. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Lethal Weapon 4 here, again, getting close to there, Lethal Weapon 4 is worthy of my praise, or do you agree with some of the critics on there that thought this was a very bad styled film? But again, I don't know what they're talking about there, and again, it is an opinion. They are welcome to their opinion, but that first one, holy crap, wow. But, what do you guys think? Leave me a comment below what you guys think of Lethal Weapon 4. I personally love the entire series. This entire series as a whole, I would give it 10 out of 10. It's worthy to be in the action film genre. It's awesome buddy cop films. Pretty well told stories. I mean, not the best, but pretty well told stories for action films. Just great stuff overall. And, I wouldn't matter if they didn't bring this back at all. Or, I mean, if they ever redo the films, I'm probably not going to be happy about that, because Lord knows how you can redo them now, especially with how violence is being viewed in films. But other violence is okay. Oh, God. But, just let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys again a later time. And I will say something new. I will keep the original ending of The Man that I said, but I'm also going to say it 2 ways, because this is how I feel about everything now. So, see you guys. Deuces. And fuck Joe Biden, and fuck the establishment.